Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us while we do our pre-tournament virtual captains meeting for Martinez Mittry. I think it'll take a couple of minutes before people start really jumping on here, but I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty excited about this tournament. I'm pretty excited about how the year's going so far. We've got a lot of new members, a lot of people coming in. I think we show on Tourney X that we have 55 people signed up for the tournament. Couldn't be more stoked about that. Then we've got 3 more people who say, are sending me information. Jason Trimble, what's up, buddy? How are you? We get the Facebook user stuff. There's a way that to fix that, and I don't remember what it is right now, so that your name comes up next to it. But glad everybody's jumping on here. Thank you guys so much. Zoltan, you ready to go? You ready to go hit Martinez? Martinez or Mittry, wherever you're fishing?
Yeah, the whole area is amazing. To be honest, it's like exactly like you said. It's a kayak playground, and I'm definitely going to be fishing out there more often, not just for events, just to go get away and find some good fish and fish your own little pocket. It's like some of the most picturesque water I've ever been on too.
Yeah, it's cool there. I really feel like once people spend some time fishing out there, it's going to turn into some of their favorite areas. That's really, it has that really off the beaten path feel to it. You can get in the middle of stuff where it's like, I feel like I'm in Florida or something. The palm trees that are down there and the tall grasses and everything. And everywhere you look, it just looks, fishy. So really cool place.
Like around any bend.
Milk, what's going on? Paul Travis, Bennett Shulkin,
guys, Don Legend,
Lefty, right on. So we're going to kind of dive in, right? Right, Zoltan?
Good, man. Let's get right to the set, right to the point.
Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of Bradley Colleen, Andrew Martin. Man, I don't know. I got a kind of Derek. What's up, buddy? I kind of got to wait here for a few more people jumping in. This is cool. You guys are awesome, man. It's like, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. This, I don't know, what was it, Zoltan? Pushing 2 years ago, this was just a dream, you know, and we're sitting at the side of the lake talking about this. And Zoltan was telling me that he read, I think you said you read an article somewhere about the most awesome group of fishermen that you never heard of before. It's the B.A.S.S Nation. And I was like, dude, I fished B.A.S S Nation for a long time. It's like, I've been involved in this for a while on the boat side. And we got talking about it and saying, man, we should jump in and get this going. It's like, I know all the guys, I've got some experience running a club, and let's do it, And so, like I say, pushing 2 years ago, it was just an idea. And here we are with like 55 guys signed up right now for a tournament. And I think we're around 75, 76 people in the club. So, man, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Go ahead, Z.
No, I was just saying I couldn't be happier. It's like a dream come true. Yep. It's super exciting. We're going to get a show going for this Mittry event. I really think the bite's going to be shaping up very nicely, and if everyone finds some water to fish, there's going to be lots of fish put up. Judging's going to be difficult, but let's get into these details.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here and run through a little bit of the rules that we have on what we have on Tourney X, and bear with me while I do this. I don't do it that often, so every time I got to think about it.
Most liked kayaker. That is, but that's funny.
Oops, that's not what I was trying to do.
Can you go to your room and go to bed? It's bedtime, please.
Okay, let's see if this comes up. Oh, there it is. Add to stage. And then I got to go. Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. It just takes me a minute here. We want that to go full screen. Well, that might be as full screen as I'm going to get it.
It's full, baby.
That was not what I was expecting. But yeah, let's see what this does. I don't know if I can pop me and Zoltan out of there, because there's that. Here, let's do this. Okay, so we're going to read down through this a little bit, and we have our tournament day. How we're starting off on Saturday. The earliest launch time is going to be 6:15 in the morning. And remember, everybody, this is Mountain Standard Time. You're going to want to be really careful out there and watch how you have your watch set up, how you have your graph set up, because you're going to go into places where it is going to try and flip to California time. Okay. So what I always end up doing on my watch or using my phone is instead of having, if you go into your time settings, you can usually set so that you're not set up on automatic. You can select the time zone that you want it to be. You can do the same thing on your graph. And I'd really recommend between now and tournament time, you look that stuff over and figure out how to get your watch and your graph and everything set up so you stay on Arizona time.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna actually have to double down on that point because when I was out there this last weekend, obviously taking some photos and stuff, reviewing those photos, the timestamps, it was just jumping back and forth. Even though I was kind of mainly on one side, it still was just randomly changing the timestamp. So you could have a photo that's like, say, half an hour before it lines out, and then that your phone might jump that timestamp an hour later, and then Pat will see that photo and think that it's not taken during legal fishing hours. So I
Yeah,
think
you got to set your phone up
it's
right.
great to set these phones correctly because I was thinking about that.
But we do the same thing
And you
on
can still
Havasu.
upload if you're in California. Mark Goss is asking a good question. You can still upload if you're on California time, but
You
if you
just
set
have to have your stuff set to Mountain Standard.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you cross over, your phone won't change.
Yeah,
Okay, that
Thomas is saying that happened to me last Saturday. You're gonna have to be very, very aware of your phone, you know, what time you've got, uh,
yeah.
what your settings are. Um, so earliest launch 6:15, competition starts 6:45 a.m. Lines out at 2:45, and then I have on here to be back by 3:15 to where you launched from or where you're taken out. So this means back to your ramp or inside no wake buoys. If you're planning on doing a float or something like that, if you want to put in at one area and take out at another, you can do that. Just by 3:15, be to where you're taken out. I don't want to have guys out on the water for an hour, hour and a half, or whatever after the tournament's over. I want to make sure everybody gets accounted for. So we want to get everybody back. Our photo upload deadline time is going to be 4:30. Pushing it out there, you know, I got an hour and 15 minutes after you're supposed to be back to the ramp, you know, so everybody start letting me know what kind of service you have when you're out on the water. If you're out there Friday and you're finding areas and you're like, you know, this is going to be pain and we need to push that upload deadline time back, we can. I don't really want to because we're going to end up in a situation where people end up standing around too long at awards and people decide to get on the road. So I'd like to keep that 4:30 time so that we can have our awards at 4:30. If you're planning to register, you've got to be registered by 5 p.m. on Friday. Okay. And you guys don't put it off to the last minute. It's really, it really gets difficult in the end because people start sending me membership applications and waivers. And then I've got to get you onto the Bassmaster roster tool and that sort of thing. So please, you know, register as soon as you can. If you know you're fishing the tournament, just jump in there and do it. We are going to have, our Friday, our pre-fishing cutoff is at 4, and we want to have people off the water at 4. So once that pre-fish ends, we don't want you out there, you know, riding around graphing, doing that kind of stuff just because you're not fishing. And these are rules that are consistent with how the Bassmaster Kayak Series runs their stuff. And in the end, you know, that's what you guys are fishing for. You're trying to figure out, you know, trying to fish your way into the Bassmaster Kayak Series. You don't get a stop between here and there. This is it. This is where you're going to learn everything that you're going to want to know for fishing those bigger tournaments. Lake-wide launch, pay attention, you know, no fishing within 50 feet of a working gas stock. The only one I personally know of is over by Hidden Shores. There's a big sign on it. There may be more. Single electric trolling motor is allowed. All the regular stuff, your Coast Guard approved PFD. We've got a 12-inch minimum. I know that on the Colorado stuff, for the boat tournaments and that, they have a 13-inch minimum. We don't keep any fish. We are just catch, photo, release. So we're going to go with a 12-inch minimum, and hopefully nobody needs those 12 inches anyways. We use oh, hang on a second. I started reading the wrong line. We've got on here approved measure boards, all catch products. Okay. And this is an important tournament to everybody. We want to make sure we're using a high quality board. I don't want to have things like a hog trough. People mark the lines with a magic marker. It gets impossible to see that stuff. So make sure you have a catch board. Somebody, yeah, I need those 12s. Yeah, sometimes you do, but hopefully this isn't one of those tournaments. As always, the quality of the photos that you submit, that's the angler's responsibility. Also, cell service can be limited, so be aware, of what you've got for cell service. Anybody have, let's see, can you send me the membership info? Message me after this, and I'll get stuff off to people. It might not be tonight. I'll do the best I can to get stuff off tonight, but you can message me or, is that you, Zoltan?
Oh, yeah. I'm just actually going to copy and paste the link right into the.
Yeah, somebody put a link in there. Okay. Do you guys have more questions about the Tourney X, what we've got on Tourney X there?
Andrew is asking about what I meant by crossing over. I meant like if you cross from the Arizona to the California side, what Bradley said, the phone and the graphs time switches over, and then it changes the timestamp on the photo of your fish.
Yeah.
So it was screwing with the gallery and the timestamp. So when we upload, it would mess things up.
So that, Mark, that's the best thing you can do is force your phone to be on the time zone you want. If you have it on automatic, it's just going to switch back and forth. You're going to be all over the place. So force your phone to the time zone you want. Most of the graphs can do the same thing. You can force your graph to the thing, to what you want.
I got to make a note of that.
Okay, I'm going to close that. My computer is acting a little goofy on me, so you have to bear with me. It seems a little slow today. We're going to go over a little bit of the lake here. Oh, you know what? I forgot. This is terrible. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I got so excited about this tournament, but Copper State, Labina Lures, Copper State Baits, Southwest Custom Tackle, Persuader Bass Baits, Minesweeper Lure Co. And then we've got more stuff coming in. It's like we can always use some more help with sponsors. Honestly, that's one of the things I'm not very good at is asking people for things. So if you guys know any people who are interested in sponsoring us, be sure to send them my way. The other thing, most everybody's seen this, but our schedule. I know you guys have seen that, so I'm not going to spend a bunch of time with that up here. And for new people, I wanted to pop this up, that how to qualify for our Arizona-based Bass Nation Kayak Series State Championship, where you can finish in the top 12 in any of the 6 Bass Nation Kayak Series events, or the top 25 in the AOI points. And there's going to be a roll down from that. I'm not going to get into explaining all of that right now. As we get farther into the season, we'll talk more about it. But from our state championship, we will qualify 10% of the people from that championship to fish in the Bassmaster Kayak Series National Championship. This year, as a lot of you guys know, we got the AZ6, the OGs of the AZ Bass Nation Kayak Division, who are going this year, in a couple of months. So really excited for those guys. Going to cover a little bit of stuff on boundaries here. A lot of you have seen that. This is at Martinez. This down here is the Imperial Dam, and you got Hidden Shores down here. We have this entire section of river and all of its backwaters all the way up to the entrance to Ferguson. Okay. Martinez is good. You can fish up in Ferguson. I do have a piece to talk about on that. Anything that is contiguous water, meaning that you can float in. Okay. By float in, you can use your paddle to push in. If you got to push through reeds, you could use a push pole. But if you get to a spot where your kayak is bottomed out and can't move and you are no longer floating, you got to take a different approach. That is not floating in. So these other spots here, like this Senator Wash Reservoir, we've got a dam right there, and it is not connected to the river. It is not contiguous water, so that is off limits. The other water we have that's not in this picture is down south here, and that's Martinez.
Mittry.
Colton, you got anything you want to say about Martinez? I don't have an image of that.
You mean Mittry Lake?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mittry.
Yeah. Mittry is pretty self-explanatory. It's not the largest body of water, but there's two main boat ramps that you can launch from. Kind of a central boat ramp and a northern boat ramp. As far as I know, the northern boat ramp is kind of like water level dependent. It gets kind of muddy, but it should be launchable for some people. And yeah, there's fish out there. I've caught a bunch of fish from the bank, so I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people out there. Yes, there is a boat tournament on Saturday going out of Fisher's Landing.
Fisher's Landing. I did some checking on that today, and typically, from what I understand, they usually draw around 30 to 50 people. This time of year, it's beautiful out. Everybody wants to be on the water. I would think they're going to be closer to that 50 number. I wouldn't be surprised if they're over. I don't know. But it's, I say this every time. We do the best we can. We set the schedule into place back in August.
Yeah.
And, you just, you can't get a place to yourself. And I think most of the directors, or not the directors, but lake managers, all of that, they don't try and do too much about it. And so just always expect to be in a crowd. I know the California guys on here are like, yeah, that's just normal, used to being in a crowd. But yep, there is a tournament. Let me see here. Okay, I wanted to go back to these pictures because up in Ferguson, and remember at this point right here at Ferguson, we're drawing a hard line there. Anything up the river here is off limits. Ferguson's okay. Martinez is okay. But up at this red line, there is some kind of a bird up there. I don't know what it is, but it's nesting season or something. And they have it posted up here off limits. I'm going to zoom in another time. So this stuff up here is off limits. It's posted. So do not go up there.
Mark Goss is saying that there's a similar situation out on Martinez Lake as well. Yeah, the buoys that mark these areas have signs on them telling you exactly what the close-off dates are. The one on Ferguson states that you can't go past the buoy from August 1st till the end of February. So obviously we're pretty close to that being lifted, but it counts for our event. I'm sure it's something similar over there in Martinez, what Mark Goss is mentioning right now, that there's probably a sign that tells you exactly, when the restriction will be lifted. Same as Martinez. All right, cool. Do we want to talk about check-in, check-out?
Yeah. So I would like to have everybody check in and check out for this. I mean, please, I know that we have spotty service. I want to make sure everybody's accounted for on this. We got a lot of backwaters. There's a lot of places you could get stuck. Please use the check-in, check-out function. I put it on Tourney X. I selected the box that says it's mandatory. So it should send you push notifications to check in, check out, depending on your service. Please do it. I want to make sure everybody's accounted for.
On that note, let's talk about service a little bit. So when I was out there this last weekend, I actually had pretty good cell service. I usually don't have great cell service in Arizona, but most of that area I had decent enough coverage to upload a fish. So I should be able to check in, check out. The only place that there is no service, and some of the other guys can attest to this, is actually at Fisher's Landing itself. That is like a black hole. The bar, the restaurant, the boat ramp. In fact, you have to go about 300 yards away from Fisher's Landing inland before you actually hit service. But then you'll hit 4Gs, and then you should be able to upload your fish. So if you do plan to launch out of Fisher's Landing and you are back at 3:15, and with the photo upload deadline of 4:30, it should be plenty enough time to pack up your boat and get out of that specific area. You can go right up road, and then you'll immediately encounter service and should have plenty of time to upload your fish. There's also no service like on the water, on the river, directly outside of Fisher's Landing. You kind of have to go upriver or downriver a little bit of ways before you run into some service again. But as far as that, everywhere else that I happened to drive or be on the water down there, I did have some service. So other people can chime in and say what they've experienced.
Yeah. So like Bradley's saying here, check in whenever you are at the ramp and check out when you are off the water. You know, if you check in 30 minutes early or something, and, you know, as you're driving into your spot, that's fine. You get off the water. When you get service, check out. It should send you push notifications, but, you know, if people aren't checking out, I'm going to be starting to make phone calls. And I really want to make sure everybody's off the water. There's you know, for the people that are fishing Mittry, I'm not that concerned with that. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory down there. But for people that are fishing on Martinez, and if they're unaware or lose track of their surroundings, some of those areas in there can be an absolute maze. So please be aware of your surroundings there.
And I want to just remind everybody, I want to state that again. So if you are planning to launch out of Fisher's Landing, you do need to check in. So you have to check in before you get to Fisher's Landing. Because if you wait till you're on that boat ramp, you will not be able to check in. You will not have service. And then you will be at least 20 minutes, half an hour on the water before you'll have service again to check in. And that's not what we want. So please, if you're going to Fisher's Landing, check in on the road to Fisher's Landing. That's fine if it's 25 minutes, half an hour early, as long as you're checked in. Facebook
and
user.
Yeah, Brian, it's our Facebook group page is private. So StreamYard, the service we're using for doing these live streams, it won't post your name when you post unless you follow. There's a link you have to follow, and I don't remember where it is. I didn't try and put that out to everybody, but it's something sometime when we're off, you know, I can post up instructions on our regular Facebook group and get people to follow them to give that authorization.
John Cruz, what about an hour early? I mean, I don't really
care.
see a problem with that. Yeah, it's about safety. You know,
there's somebody, I don't remember who it is. There's somebody that's already checked in now.
So, just covering his bases. He's like, I'm there. I'm ready to
go. I'm gonna contact him and say, hey, you got to check out here until we get a little closer. But if you check in an hour early, I don't care. That's fine.
We expect everyone knows the staging rules and all that. So, I mean, the check-in, check-out rule is about safety. It's about making sure that everyone comes back safe, because this is supposed to be fun. I know we're all about to go out there and try and give each other some black eyes, figuratively speaking. But, you know, at the end of the day, everyone wants to come home. So let's make sure we check in and check out, and it's just for that purpose. So
okay, I'm pulling something else up here that I want to show you guys. Give me a second. Okay, I'm going to go back and share my screen again.
Insert fishing meme here.
Takes a minute to add all this stuff. Right. Okay, so I wanted to pop this up here for a second. Zoltan did a really good job of putting together this website, and I keep trying to put stuff out there so people can find it. But when you go on this website, you can go up here at the top, and there's a bunch of stuff here, but how to join, you can follow that. He's got it broken down into 3 steps: how to join B.A.S.S, where to get the membership application, and how to pay your dues on PayPal. So that's all right there. It's a really, really nice resource. Down here at the bottom of the page, you can get our club rules. This is official Bassmaster kayak rules. This is our rules. If you follow this link, it's going to take you to a download. Sorry, I just did that and it didn't show up for you, but it's going to take you to a download of our rules. I would recommend for every one of you, go on here. If you haven't done it already, pop open these rules, print yourself out a copy, and spend some time reading them. This is a grassroots series, but it leads you up to a big championship event. So the rules are pretty stringent, and we've got, there's different pre-fish rules, and when it's official practice, and what boat you can fish out of, all of those things between what you can do during official practice and what you can't. So everybody, please go on this website and click on those rules. I've tried to add them onto the Facebook group page and people don't find them. And we've also put them into our tournament on Tourney X in the notes there. And it starts getting to be a little bit of a pain, because as you go through and end up making revisions, it gets hard to track where all you've got them, if you've got rules in several places. So your best bet on getting the best up-to-date rules is coming to our website.
And it's on that how to join page, and it's also on the resources page on the website.
Yeah. And then, so if you go back up here to the top and you go to resources, this is where you can get the liability waiver. You've got rules again right here, our bylaws, our rules, a list of our tournaments, and our tourney ID tags here. Okay. So you can get those right there. And then we put on there that we want everybody using those. With the amount of people coming on right now, we've got a lot of new people coming on. I'm answering a lot of questions, but it's going to get lost in the weeds on some people. I want everybody using the tourney ID tags. If there's people that don't know about it, I'm not going to disqualify anybody, but I really want everybody to use these, and there's a good reason for it. We put our sponsors' logos on there, and when people come in and they've done well in the tournament and they're posting up pictures of their fish on the board and they're making Facebook posts about it, we want our sponsors' logo shown on there. So please do the best you can. I'd really like to make this something that's mandatory, but like I said, with so many people new coming in, I'm not going to disqualify anybody this weekend if they don't have it. Zoltan, do you have anything to add to that, or the website?
I just feel like another point to it as well is, since we are qualifying people to what I believe is the biggest kayak bass tournament in the country, it's like if they wanted to look from the top down and try to, hold our qualifying under a microscope, like every fish we show them could have our logo on it, along with our sponsor's logo and our own official card, and it just makes us look that much more legit, and we could pass more levels of scrutiny, you could say, in a way. I just really want to make sure that whoever we send doesn't have like the rug pulled out from under them, and that there's every reason for them to be accepted to that event, and for them to do the best that they can, because they're showing up prepared, ready, professional, and just on point. So that's it. I see you.
Okay. On the ID cards too, we had a really good suggestion about approving these. There are these 10 cards, and that's in the works. I'm working on it right now. I just haven't had the bandwidth to get it done. With all the new members coming in, and then I said, everybody send me waivers, and the next day I'm like, oh my God, I got 45 waivers in my inbox. What am I going to do with these? So be careful what you ask for, but I appreciate everybody sending me that stuff. But we are going to work on getting those 10 ID cards. That was Lefty Trask that sent that idea to me. But I want to open this up to, Zoltan, do you feel like you have a bunch of other stuff we want to talk about, or we want to open this up to get questions going here?
I think
Oh,
we
and I
could do
wanted to show
questions.
people the
Oh
location
yeah,
for the
awards.
awards.
Yes, this is where I'd like to do the awards. Talked about it with a few people. Also scouted the area, and seeing is that there's California side options and Arizona side options, and service being a factor. I decided to pick this location because it's on the Arizona side. We could safely meet there. We could have our awards. There's plenty of open space. It's easy to find. There's plenty of service right there. And I don't know exactly, but I have a feeling that most people from Arizona are going to be taking the 8 to get out there, and people from California are going to be taking the 8. So the other options were going to be on the northern end of all this area. And so this is kind of just closer to the freeway. So when the awards are said and done, no one has to make a long trek back to the highway to get home. So that was my reasoning for it, and I think it will work out. And I hope
All right.
everyone
And
can find
then
them. It's easy to
for
find too.
people that haven't seen them, these are examples of our identifiers.
Also, I'm gonna post the pictures of the awards location on the Facebook page, and I'm also gonna post it on my personal Facebook. I'm also gonna post the pictures of that Ferguson cutoff on the Facebook page, just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, post all of that stuff up.
Yeah.
And we're going to be making a lot of posts over the next couple of days and make sure everybody's up to speed. I'm sorry, I've been running pretty hard, so I'm a little bit frazzled here. But I want to open things up. What questions do you guys have? Is there anything you really need clarification on? You feeling pretty confident, ready to go? What do you guys got going on?
Oh yeah. Also, this is the first West Coast Championship qualifier.
That's right.
And they're going back to Clear Lake too, so this is gonna be fun. Another opportunity there.
Yeah, so that the way that works is we qualify the top 25% out of this tournament is automatically qualified for West Coast Championship, and then we have 3 tournaments that are our qualifiers, and anybody who fishes all 3 tournaments will also be qualified for the championship. So I fished it last year. It was pretty cool at the Delta. Got a couple of things to pop up here. This is a really important question. So any answers here, post them up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because there's so much area. I think it's going to be to each their own. Oh, you know what? Bennett has a good comment right now. He says, "Bring cash."
I'm going to go down the list here because John Cruz ID release comes out 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And then Bennett, he told me this and I forgot, said, be sure to bring cash. Everything is cash only down there. You're not going to find an ATM. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, there is one at Fisher's Landing, actually, but there's no cell service. You could just pull out money.
No, I wasn't planning on texting everybody who is going to place. I'm really hoping everybody shows up. We've got some...
If you place and don't, sorry, real quick. If you place in a tournament and don't show up for the awards, sorry, I don't approve. I don't. Like, that's lame.
Yeah, well,
sorry if that offends you.
Yeah, I'd like to have people show up. We've got our sponsors have kicked in some tackle and some gear, so we're going to have, it'll be a free raffle. We'll have a handful of bags that we'll be raffling off. So we'd like to get people to show up.
Yeah, we got a lot of good baits donated from our sponsors, and Copper State hooked us up with a bunch of stuff. So the raffle bags are going to be nice. You'll be happy you showed up and got one of those.
So Bennett is correct. Bring cash. The furthest away from Crown Royal I can be. Yeah, I understand that, man. I've played that game too many times.
Yeah.
Okay, do you guys have questions? Because we're going to keep it pretty short here. We've already been on 34 minutes. I know I've been kind of all over the map, and I apologize a little bit for that. I I have been just running hard, getting all of the new people set up, and still got a few more to do tonight. So thank you guys for your patience. How high can you lift your arm? I went to the doctor last week. He said my repair area should be at about 20% of its strength. He said in 6 more weeks, I should be at about 70% strength. I think I'm going to be back on the water probably late May or June. And I'm taking it easy because I don't want to do this again. So, Scott, the identifiers, you go onto your Tourney X app, and when you pull up the app on your phone, you're going to see a tab that says identifiers, and you click on that. If you do it right now, it's going to say something like there's no data or something like that. Hold on, Z. Let's see. I'm not sure how to make. Oh, that's not what I meant. Pardon my rookie mistakes here. I don't know how to make Z's full screen. Okay, Scott says, gotcha, thanks. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm excited to get back on the water at some point. It's been pretty boring sitting around the house.
I couldn't imagine, man.
So yeah, it's not shared. Everybody's ID will be individual, and I will be checking those out. I'm going to make sure that everybody has that ID in the picture. And to reiterate, going onto our website and downloading a copy of the rules, there's a picture in there that really describes where your hand placement can be, everything about the photo. It's not a photo, it's kind of a cartoon sort of drawing. The one thing I don't like about it is they show the identifier laying on the fish. That does not mean the identifier has to be laying on the fish. It just needs to be in the photo. It needs to be clear. It can't be obscured. Some other things, while I'm thinking about rules a little bit, with new guys who haven't been doing it, look at that picture really well in the rules, that image. You need the mouth of the fish pointed to the left, its mouth fully closed. If its mouth is cracked open, tiny crack open, you're going to get a 1/2 inch deduction. If its mouth is wide open, you didn't even try to close it, it's a 1 inch deduction. This stuff comes down to 1/4 inches. You don't want a 1 inch deduction. I'm telling look it over really good. Make sure you know.
John Cruz, to answer your question, it is not our job to check fishing licenses. That's the state's job. You have to have one to go fishing. So if you're a law-abiding citizen, you'll have your fishing license, especially if you're fishing in a fishing tournament. I will tell you that when I was out there, I was stopped by Fish and Game, and they checked my license. But I got one, a combo one, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, you don't want to get checked and not have it. So Jason got checked too.
There you go.
So everybody, make sure you are legal, that you have everything you need with you. You guys have more tournament specific questions that you need answered? Post them up.
Facebook user says they've been stopped multiple times out there. Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, it's a dual state body of water, and like, especially California, they love to collect fees. So like, why wouldn't they be stopping people for licenses? If
and
you don't have it, they're going to pop you for a ticket.
It's a party spot too in the summer, so there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's touch on safety. There was 2 incidences I had while I was out on the main river where wake boaters, were just gunning for these little out, they have these little channel ways that open up to like bigger pockets of water, and they'll just be gunning right for them off the main river. And like, they were coming straight at me, and I had to stand up and wave my arms. And, both times they like didn't really see me until last minute. And thankfully I was already like way out of the way. But watch out for those wake boaters or pleasure boaters out there in the main river, because they're hauling and they're not paying attention.
Well, and that's a good point too, because with the bass boats, the bass boat guys, they're running fast, and a lot of them are looking at tracks that are on their graph. to try and miss sandbars. Everybody's like head on a swivel for the sandbars and the bass boats. So be very aware of your surroundings.
Yep.
And yeah, Bennett's like, watch out for sandbars too. Yeah. You run into them in your kayak, you know. And if you get out there and you're looking at all the bass boats running around, you'll see the skeg on the bottom of the motor is all the paint will be polished off everybody's skeg from hitting sandbars. Okay. If you guys don't have more tournament related questions, rules, anything like that, I'm going to call it here and check out. So, yep, Andrew, you found a sandbar. They're everywhere, man. They're sneaky.
They'll get you.
Okay, guys, everybody knows how to get a hold of me. Everybody knows how to get a hold of Zoltan. Have a safe trip out there. Man, I'm really wish I could be there.
We're gonna miss you, bud. I'll catch a big one for you.
Let's see. I'll pop this picture back up there real quick. Hang on just a second.
Yeah. We'll be posting the awards again on the Facebook page too. And I might even put like, I'll try to share like a actual Google Map pin on the Facebook page if I can. Otherwise, I'll repost that picture, and we'll kind of retoot that horn so everybody knows where things are at. Thanks, Paul. You too, buddy.
Yeah, you guys have a blast, man. I think it's going to be. I hope you guys knock it out of the park. I'm like looking at the conditions and looking at this full moon, and it's like, oh, that's going to be killing me. You guys,
I pray for some dinks for you, Andrew.
All right.
All right,
have a good one, guys. We're going to check out.